Greetings from ABC Acres. I'm Grant Shadden, and I'm here along our Comfrey nursery bed in our under construction nursery area to show you how to divide the roots up of the comfrey plant to propagate them into new comfrey plants. Now, comfrey has many purposes in permaculture, and I'm not going to explain all those today because I want to show you the process and then a practical application of how to multiply this fantastic plant out into your landscape to help you maintain edges of some of your planting projects while also building really great soil in the process. So in order to get to the root, I'm going to show you one of the methods that we use to build soil and boost the health of our plants, and that's chop and drop mulching. I just have a Japanese hand sickle here, and then you just take the plant and you get a lot of vegetation from these comfrey plants. They grow very vigorously, as you can see. And you can do this 4 or even 5 times a season and it'll just keep coming back like this. And so I've chopped it, and now I can just drop it wherever I want to mulch the soil, to keep the water in, to increase the microorganism activity around the plants that we want really strong and healthy, and to just continue to build great organic matter into the soil. Comfrey is a dynamic accumulator. It builds a lot of nutrient density in the leaves and the stalks of the plant. And so we're getting that right into the soil surface where the microorganisms are and cycling those nutrients in a very effective way. And that's just one of the reasons why we want this spread throughout our landscape. So now that I have my space clear, I'm going to go ahead and dig up some of these roots and show you how to cut them. All right, well, it took a little doing. This is a pretty poor stony soil that we planted the comfrey root in, which is only a testament to how hardy and vigorous it is. And in the process, these roots are helping to condition the soil, opening it up, breaking through. They send down very deep tap roots, which I've broken off here about 6 inches from the top. You can see how thick this root is. Now, what I planted in this stony soil bed about 1.5 years ago was something that probably looked very similar to this right here. Just 1.5 to 2 inch little side shoot of the root grows into something like this in very short order. And so this will become a whole new plant. And this is where we can really multiply out our plants on the property without a whole lot of extra investment. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut these up into smaller sections, and then we'll go over and plant them along an edge of a newly planted in hedgerow that we want to maintain the edge of without letting the grass from the neighboring pasture encroach in on it. And at the same time, we'll be creating some really great organic matter to use as mulch for our food producing hedge plants. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll go plant them out in the field. All right, here we are in our newly planted food hedge along this fence line with a pasture just in front of me. And in order to maintain this edge and keeping it clear of plants that we don't want, the seeds of the grasses and things blowing into this area where we're going to have to pull and weed and things just to keep the competition from our food producing shrubs and trees that we have here, like this serviceberry, we're going to plant our comfrey root along this line. Now, as you observed in our comfrey nursery bed, planting these closer together, just like we are with our shrub plants, really made a nice thick line of that comfrey that will maintain this edge. And depending on the size of your root, well, that's going to determine how much more quickly that plant will come and really start growing and filling in. But even something very thin and small, we've had good success with. This will become a comfrey plant with a root like this in very short order. And when I mean short order, we're talking about a year and a half from something like this to this. And so I'm just going to go ahead and start planting these roughly about a foot on center and about 1 inch deep. Some people will plant them deeper, but we've got drip irrigation here and our straw mulch, so I'm not worried about these drying out, and I want them to come up quicker to begin to maintain that edge as soon as possible. So I'm just dropping these in. Comfrey isn't too picky, which is one of the great things about it. I've got my nice big one here that's going to just pop right back out of the ground that I need to go a little deeper in. But as you can see, I just used a trowel. We had our soil here already worked over from our shrub planting. And I'll go ahead and mulch these back. And here's that comfrey plant that I had cut down there by the nursery area, and that's what we'll be able to do once these are growing. Just cutting this down and placing this around as mulch for our food producing plants, increasing the nutritional value of the food that we want to eat. One other thing I want to mention is this variety is a cultivar of comfrey called Bocking 14, and it spreads by roots slowly in clumps, but mostly from these cuttings and not from seed. True comfrey will spread by seed, which you may or may not want in your area if you don't want it running and really spreading. Some places it's even considered an invasive. It's a fantastic plant, but that's where you have to think about the properties of everything you're introducing into your system. Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish planting these along our food hedge here, or fedge, and I'll get to that. If you have any questions about this, please put them in the comment section below this video. And as always, thanks for watching.